I was willing to speak on a support of you guys, would you let me say something since?
Okay, hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
So the question is, yes, not something needs to be done. Do we need to go from where we are, and oh, by the way, where were they before? If it was a firehouse before, built for firehouse standards, you know, how long did they stay scattered if that's what they were, and then now they got consolidated into the old fire station, because that can't be too many years ago. So, you know, can we look at remodeling and using our existing site and maybe off-siting for an acre or two here or there on other city-owned property, rather than consolidating if that's not a realistic issue? From the citizen standpoint, I certainly want you to justify a $6 million investment, and I want you to justify it until I go, okay, we got to have it, rather than shove it down my throat with all these fancy studies and architectural structural data pushing through the wall saying, oh, wow, that's not built to standards, and OSHA doesn't meet this, and ADA doesn't meet that. And it's like, you know what? We can be grandfathered into a lot of that because it's an older building. So please consider remodeling, using the existing, and maybe off-siting some other items at a substantially reduced cost so that we can step into it, as Mr. Dickey has suggested over numerous meetings, so we don't shove the whole thing down the citizen's throat at this point when everybody's sensitive, and a 30,000 square feet truck shed to give us covered parking when I've got to put my car on the street. I'm not real sympathetic, okay, as a citizen. Thanks for what you guys do.
I know you got to hurry, but I would say the business I'm in, remodeling becomes very, very expensive. Separating the facilities, I worked in an environment where we had numerous of our facilities separated. When we brought them together, we had all kinds of efficiencies, which I would expect if we build a more efficient, effective building. Long-term, we can provide those services. I think additionally, you know, there is something to building out growth later, but you have to have the property to do that. And what we found in our business where we have significant failures is where we build a 30,000 square foot store with no room to expand. The economy grows and they need a 45,000 square foot in. So I'm not adverse to a study, a remodel, but I would just tell you that it's very expensive. You know, you do have to look forward. But we do build some 30,000 square foot stores, knowing we're going to have to expand later to 50,000. But you know, having things separated and remodeled can become extremely expensive.
It's an option and an alternative to consider, however.
Obviously,